She is an astrologer, a psychic, and spiritual counselor, and now Deborah Young can add writer to that list. Gabriel's Great Perhaps is Young's first ever novel. It follows 7 very different people from very different backgrounds who have died and entered a transitory realm. They now need to come together to save the planet. Young will officially launch her book tomorrow night with a Facebook Live event. We'll tell you more about that coming up. But she's here with us this morning to, of course, preview her novel, Gabriel's Great Perhaps. There she is, Deborah Young. And here she is, virtually anyway, a very familiar face to our show. Hi, Deborah. Good morning.
Hi, Alyse. Thank you. Good morning.
Congrats on this. I did read it. It was incredible. Really, really well done. I really couldn't put it down, and I mean that. It's a beautiful book, your first ever novel, and I learned so much. I mean, we talked a little bit about the afterlife in that opening, but you don't want to confuse yourself and think this is a book about religion. It's about a number of different religions and cultural differences, and has this really beautiful message in it. What made you want to write this?
It really came. I didn't want to write it. Really, a series of visions started to come to me, and I felt just really compelled to show up and start writing. I had no intention of writing a novel, at all. I'm a big reader. I'll read anything, but I had no intention of writing a book at all. This seemed to be something that was given to me, and I felt committed to sit down and give it its due.
And when did that happen, Deborah? When did you start? You said you kind of had this feeling, this responsibility of having to write this. When did that start for you?
It started about 6 years ago, but as you know, I have a very busy practice. So it would be, I'd take a week here, maybe 2 weeks there. There'd be 8-9 months would go by, but I always knew that I had to really get to the finish line with this. There was no doubt in my mind that I would finish it.
It really is. I read a really great review too by Nova Scotia Book Review yesterday. It's really a story of our time. We are currently dealing with a lot of turbulence in our world. And interestingly enough, when you were on here with Paul Brothers back in January, you alluded to this when you looked ahead to the year of 2020. So there you go. You were onto something. We're in the midst of a pandemic, social justice movements, environmental challenges, political unrest. Was this intentional to release this book? Because it has that message of coming together for a better world. Was that intentional to release the book now?
I felt it was the right time, even though it's in a sense not the right time, but that I felt kind of compelled. Okay, let's get this message out there. There's unity and diversity. There's a message of hope in the book, and hope grows confidence, hope grows courage, and we need confidence and courage moving forward right now. But I find it kind of interesting or ironic maybe that when I started to write the book, I thought at the time the world was quite divisive, but now it's like incredibly divisive. And there's a message that we can go so much further ahead, with, again, unity and diversity.
100%. What was the reaction of those close to you that have had a chance to read it? I know I'm one of a few that have my hands on it. It'll officially be released. Your official book launch is tomorrow. What feedback have you received so far on it?
Oh, I've received really good feedback and, very kind, very generous feedback. And, there's one person that knows me quite well through astrology. And she said that it didn't even sound like my voice, really. She's used to different writings I do and different ways I talk and so forth. But, so but the feedback has been really, really great. And, I feel very blessed to have that feedback.
I picked up on that too. And, I've interviewed a lot of first-time novelists, and we have some incredible talent in our region, but it really felt like this was like your 6th, 7th, 8th novel, just the way it was put together. And it's a big book too. It's a big read. It's not just a tiny first novel. It's a lot in here that follows the lives of the afterlife, I should say, of 7 different people. How much research did you have to do
the research was mostly about religion, was the religious piece. Everything else was, and certainly some corrections from my editor. For example, she lived in England for a long time, so there's a few like little words in there. There's one character from England, as you know, certain slang words that I wasn't using quite correctly, so that was invaluable. So it wasn't like a lot. I mean, there was research. I would research forever. I love research, but it's so yes, there was some, but not a huge amount. And the characters really came to be fully formed. What's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you've traveled so much, you've seen so much of the world. I'm sure a lot of that was already in here, right? You had the research. You knew what to write already.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah.
Incredible book. That is all the time we have, but we have 30 seconds. Deborah, I want to mention tomorrow night, Facebook Live event. You can attend, anyone can attend. We have a board here with all the information. It's tomorrow night, facebooklive.com/Gabriel's Great Perhaps, 7 to 8 p.m. Official Facebook Live. That's how we do it in COVID times, right? Book launch, and I hope you can tune in. And again, Deborah, we hope to see you in studio soon. We miss having you in, but congrats on this. The great read. Thank you so much for bringing it to us. I think we all need this right now.
Thank you so much, Alyse. It was a pleasure.